If you're someone that wants to hit a flow state on the cut, meaning they want to feel energized throughout the cut, they want to feel, like strong during the cut, then I'm going to tell you guys how to hit your flow state during your cut. And there's 5 things that you must be doing in order to hit the flow state on your cut. This is something that's been helping me from this cut so far. If you guys don't really know, if you've seen it, or if you haven't seen my shorts yet, then go check out anyways. But yeah, if you haven't seen my shorts, then what I'm doing right now is basically I'm on a cut right now, trying to get to 10%. And during this cut so far, most of the times I've been hitting a flow state. Now there has been like a few days, I've been slightly energized, not really, slightly exhausted but that's from the cut itself. And yeah, the reason why I didn't really hit a flow state for just a few days, not for most of the time on the cut, but for a few days, I didn't really hit a flow state. And the reason for this is because poor sleep, oversleeping, etc. And yeah, because anyways, no one is perfect anyways. We're all human beings. We're all human beings at the end of the day. But yeah, if you want to really hit your flow state on your cut, then these are 5 things that you guys can do to hit your flow state on your cut. So first thing would be is to eat the same foods daily. I can't stress this enough. If you just, eat variety, if you just, every single day you keep, planning on what I'm gonna have for this meal, how am I gonna hit my calories and macros. If I have this different meal, if I have this different breakfast, if I have this different lunch, if I have this different dinner, how am I going to fit all of that and be able to hit my calories and macros? Then you're going to find it way more harder to be dieting down to get to your lean desired body fat percentage. You're going to find it way harder. This is going to make the cut harder. You're going to end up hitting calories and macros much harder. You're going to just end up not sticking to the meal plan. But if you just switch that and you just eat the same foods daily, this will make meal prepping so much easier. So you don't end up always deciding, what am I gonna have for meal 3? What am I gonna have for meal 4? What am I gonna have when I come back from my shift? However, if you already created yourself that meal plan of what you're gonna eat for this meal, and then if you stick to that consistently, if you eat the same meals consistently, then it's going to make meal prepping so much easier. It's going to reduce your decision fatigue that you guys get if you just eat variety and you just, try to fit in your favorite foods so that in a way that it makes dieting easier and it just helps to fit your calories and macros. And this will boost your consistency if you eat the same foods daily. You won't really get much hunger if you eat the same foods. Trust me, because I've been somebody who's been eating the same foods so far from this cut and will continue until I get to my desired goal. Yeah, cool, you get cravings sometimes, but it makes tracking your calories so much easier if you do it that way with less effort. So, and yeah, it will reduce your diet fatigue as well, because obviously you won't end up always deciding what you're gonna have for this meal, and then hence you're more likely gonna fall off your plan if you just keep making decisions of what you're gonna have for this different meal, this meal. So yeah, eat the same foods. Now you can make minor tweaks here and there, you can swap, for example, a certain fruit like strawberries with blueberries, or you can swap banana with a kiwi. You can do minor changes, but other than that, you should be eating the same meals daily. Now, that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is to sleep 7 to 9 hours daily. I can't stress this enough because you don't understand how important sleep is on a cut. You got to be sleeping like a baby when it comes to cutting, because think about it. You're in a deficit, so do not put yourself in a sleep deficit, because it will ruin your productivity throughout the day. It will ruin your focus, and you won't be able to recover properly. Hence, it's going to reduce your recovery if you just keep consistently getting poor bad sleep. because on a car it's very important to recover hard, way harder than your training, your cardio. Sleep is way more comes way more important than those things. And you know, if you sleep for less than 7 hours, you're just gonna end up getting water weight fluctuations because cortisol levels are gonna rise, and then that will then lead to the water weight increasing once you weigh yourself on the scale in the morning. So yeah, make sure you get enough sleep because sleep has a lot of benefits, especially during the car as well. So yeah, that's the second thing. Now the third thing would be is to track everything, meaning your steps, track your cardio. You can track sleep as well, I'd say. I don't really track sleep because I don't really need to, because no need for me because I already get my sleep in. But yeah, you can track your sleep if you want. I still highly recommend it. Track your calories proper accurately as well. Because the reason why I say this is because as you get leaner, margin of error decreases. And we need to make sure, and when it comes to cutting, we need to make sure that we don't eat off plan. Because if we eat off plan, that can ruin your entire weeks of progress, especially as you get leaner. Yeah, so track that, and then also track your weight daily as well. And you could also track your water. Well, it's not really necessary, but if you wanna, if you wanna ensure that you get at least, 3 to 4 liters of water daily, then yeah, you can if you want to. But the non-negotiable ones are tracking your calories, tracking your macros, tracking your weight daily. I mean, you weigh yourself every single morning after you use the bathroom. Track your cardio, and track how much steps you get daily. And yeah, that's pretty much the non-negotiables for me that you guys must be tracking. And if you can track more than that, then that's great, absolutely great. But yeah, just make sure you track at least these non-negotiables that I've just listed out. And the fourth thing would be is to avoid aggressive cutting, meaning you need to stop dieting down at 1,800 calories or below. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the larger your deficit is, then the harder it will be to sustain it, then the less energized you will feel. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but most of you guys don't understand. You don't have the discipline. You guys don't have the discipline to be dieting for that low, and that could also ruin your metabolism as well, since you're dropping your calories too low. Instead, what I want you guys to do is to drop just below maintenance, 200 to 300 just below maintenance. Or if you're someone that's, like 30% body fat or above, then yeah, you can drop 500 to 700 calories below your maintenance, because, obviously you've got a lot of fat that's stored within you. So you want to get that, you want to prioritize doing like a strict cut to get rid of the excess stored food that you have within your belly. So yeah, let's just use 20% as an example. Yeah, drop just below maintenance at around 200 to 300 below maintenance, and you increase the deficit by doing more output. So you do more output of 10k steps daily and 20 minutes of starting your session off with 20 minutes of cardio daily. Because remember, we're athletes around here. We're not here to train like bodybuilders. We're here to be training like athletes. That's the way to set up your calories. And yeah, and the reason why we want to drop just below maintenance is because it will help to maintain our gym floor performance. Since you're eating more food with the same number of calories, and it's gonna avoid you putting your metabolism in the bin if you do it that way. And you'll start to get less hungry, less diet fatigue, and you end up hitting a flow state even more if you do it that way. So yeah, that's the fourth thing. Now the fifth thing would be is to have a routine. If you don't have a routine, like if you just wake up and you don't know what you're doing, then of course you're not going to get a flow state within your cut, because your body needs to get used to the routine that you keep following. And if your body gets used to that, then you're going to get a consistent amount of energy if you do this type of routine on a consistent basis. So, and that includes, also having a sleep routine most of the time. Have a sleep routine where, not write down, but, obviously like tell yourself what's the best time to be going to sleep, and what's the best time to be waking up, what's ensuring that I get my 7 to 9 hours of sleep most of the time. And the reason I'm saying most of the time is because, obviously we all have a life. You might get a shift later within the day, so you just end up sleeping later, but then obviously you would end up waking up a bit later. You still get your 7 hours of sleep, but for most of the time, if not for every single day, okay, set yourself a sleep routine, and set yourself a routine where you're gonna avoid going on your phone first 90 minutes of your day. And the reason why you don't hit a flow state on your cut is simply because of your phone consumption. You consume your phone too much, and especially as soon as you wake up. But then if you set yourself a routine of, not going on your phone first 90 minutes of your day, and then you just, wake up, cold shower, 30 push-ups, and then, you have your work block around this time, and then, you have like a structured meal plan where you're going to be eating at this roughly at that same time. Doesn't have to be exactly the same time, by the way, but you set yourself like a meal timing where you're going to be eating at roughly at this time, and then meal two will be roughly at this time, etc., etc. Then this is gonna make you hit a flow state on your cut. Why? Because if you set yourself a routine, then you're gonna end up enjoying the process even more. You're gonna start to feel more happy about yourself. You're gonna end up getting your tasks done if you do it that way, and you'll get consistent energy levels if you do it that way. If you set yourself a consistent sleep routine. So that's how to hit your flow state on your cut. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you on the next video.